How did I get started? Long story. Starts at the age of 12 as far as manufacturing goes, which is now, will be this year, 58 years. But I suppose I can blame my father for a lot of it. We used to live on Port Phillip Bay. We had a beach shed and he hired out timber paddleboards, which at a very early age, maybe 6, I learnt to surf on. No fins, no nothing, just big old timber boards. And we used to get very bad surf on Port Phillip Bay, but it was where I cut my teeth. And yeah, that was the beginning. And I suppose from my point of view, for the following years, maybe 1965, it was just hit and miss, trial and error. And then one of the local board builder worker, the shapers of the day, moved up the road from where I lived, and I approached him and said, look, if you want anyone to sweep the floors, I want to learn to make surfboards properly. He said, right, you're on. So his name was Phil Grace, and to this day we are still best of friends. And probably by the time I was 17 and a half, 18, I was making boards full time. It progressed and progressed. I got better and better, still working out of a little shed. I met my wife Janet. We went overseas. She's British by birth. So we went to England. Then we had Tim Hayland and Dave Aldrich Smith. They ran Tiki surfboards. Unbeknownst to me, they were the biggest in Europe. Spent 3 years working with them. And that was my first taste of what we'd call production work. Yeah, a lot of adventures over there, a lot of good times, a lot of silly times. So on return, and I then started making boards again. My nickname back then was Bean. How I got it, I have no idea. But there was this other guy who'd come, and I never met him, from Noosa. And his nickname was Bean. And he was making boards. We had such a great working relationship, it was fantastic. So he used to make Bean surfboards. I used to make Peter White surfboards. We pushed those apart and concentrated on barling. And for quite a long time, between us and probably 3 or 4 other workers, we were the flavour of the month. And those months went on years. We were just so busy. So as time went on, we got sick of the cold down in Victoria. I came north. I'd had a fantastic reference to approach a company down in Caloundra called Beach Beat. So I did, and Al Hing, who was the owner of Beach Beat, he took me in 1 day a week. 1 day a week became 2 days a week. I was still making boards at my place. And yeah, that worked out really well. Started developing the Peter White name, and then over time, having seen the surf here at the various points, and there was probably 2 or 3 guys riding longboards at that time, having a great time. I'm going to make myself a longboard. They're having too much fun. And I copped a lot of shit for that. Oh, what do you want to ride a longboard for? You know, you're a shortboarder. You're this, you're that. I can do it. I want to do it. I took the deliberate step. Everyone was making shortboards. No one was making longboards. So I thought, all right, give it a go. And it took off. So we branded them as Classic Malibu. Just a name I came up with, which has stuck and has been really good for us. After that, yeah, I set up a purpose-built factory, and that was getting bigger and bigger, always in Noosa. But when you look at the difference of the style of work that goes into making a longboard as opposed to a high-performance shortboard, worlds apart. Generally, a shortboard is just clear, super light, and out you go. Whereas the longboards, they like the tradition, they like the colour, they like the old style fabrics. Lots of different, same processes, just more intense on a longboard. So what we did in 20 boards a week, you could probably do 40 boards a week on a clear shortboard. Simple as that. It's 2 styles of riding, shall we say. There's your high performance on super light. They like riding shortboards in a sense. And there's your logging style or your old school style. And I'm always searching for something. So my ideal, and this might conflict with every other shaper in a longboard sense, is to make an extremely light board that is super strong. And that's targeted for this high performance type of surfing. Like lady surfing now, I hear, is the largest growth sport in the world. We've had 2 world champions ride our boards, females, Chelsea Williams, and then Honolulu Bloomfield, Hawaiian girl. One of the young girls we look after, Kira Molnar. She had been invited to compete in the Queen of the Points contest in the Philippines. She won it. The new boundary or frontier I see is materials. You know, what can be used to create a better board? And there's so much out there. Yeah, it's just gone full circle. From the shed at home in Seaford as a kid to huge factories with staff of up to 11 people. 58 years later, I'm still in a shed. Now I do everything. Yeah, with the help of Josh, it's unreal. And the freedom and the love is so much better. But right now, I'm quite happy just to walk from here, 30 metres to home and back again. That's my thing.